as we explore the world of diets and lifestyle choices, we are pleased to have the founder of Keto Lifestyle and the author of best-selling book, Living the Ultimate Keto Lifestyle, Hendrik Marais, who's here with us to tell us more about it. Welcome, Hendrik.
Thank you so much for having me.
Will you please share your personal story with us?
Certainly. I may be known as the keto guy in South Africa, but I actually started my career as a criminal defense attorney, and my journey into keto is pretty straightforward. I'm going to spare you all the gory details, but essentially I suffered my entire childhood as an overweight kid. I struggled with low self-esteem, with low self-worth, with bullying, and at one point in time I just reached the decision that I refused to accept this for myself as a future. And as many people may realize, losing weight is one thing, but doing so in a sustainable manner that you can actually maintain long-term is a whole different story. So it was actually only until I started experimenting with ketogenic diets and to a certain extent with intermittent fasting that I managed to make a lasting change and to actually lose weight and keep it off for good. I got rid of about 30 kilograms, and ever since then I've dedicated a large part of my life to helping others achieve success with their health and to spread the message that there is hope for people for a better future out there.
Wow, Hendrik, what a powerful story. I want to just take a few steps back because I think what you mentioned is so important in terms of mental health, because I'm sure that challenged you quite profoundly. How old were you when you navigated this period of your life?
I started actively trying to lose weight when I was about 15 years old. I had to equip myself with the knowledge that I needed to navigate not only exercise but also nutrition, which at the end of the day makes the biggest difference for someone that wants to try and lose weight.
And what has that mental process been like for you over the years now as an adult? Like, going from that 15-year-old to where you are right now, do you ever have trigger moments?
Certainly, yes. I think as human beings, we experience a whole range of emotions, whether it is depression or anger or anxiety or disappointment. And if those emotions are still triggers for you in life, it's one thing to try and guard yourself from feeling those things by eating and by having certain relationships with food. But at the end of the day, we need to learn to sit and to experience those emotions and not try and guard ourselves from it.
Absolutely. Speak to me about the keto diet. What is the keto diet?
So the keto diet is actually very simple. It's where you condition and train your body to run off fat as a fuel source instead of glucose that's usually derived from carbohydrates and from sugars that we eat. And when you deprive your body of these carbohydrates and these sugars, it undergoes a metabolic shift where it starts running on fat and it starts producing ketones. And it's in the presence of these ketones that we actually also experience a whole range of benefits. I really feel that it's something that's very sustainable, and it's something that almost everyone in South Africa and everyone in the world can do if they just get the basics right.
And what are the basics?
Well, essentially you want to, like I said, restrict carbohydrates. And when you do that, yes, fully. And when you do that...
No potatoes?
No, unfortunately not. But here's the catch. When you do that, you get to increase your intake of fat because you have to now replace that fuel source.
Okay.
And this is where you now get to eat all these foods that people have traditionally told us are unhealthy for us, like butter, like red meat, like nuts, like avocados. You'll also notice that I said you get to increase your fat intake. It's not a must. So there's a fine balance that we want to strike between the dietary fat that we consume and the body fat that we want to try and burn off. So when you reach that state of nutritional ketosis, you can actually manipulate your diet in such a way that you start using your own body fat for fuel. And as you can imagine, that's then when you start losing weight in the process.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds easy enough listening to you, but I'm sure to implement that is a whole nother story. But I also sit here and I go, well, you did it, which means that it's, it's possible for anyone else at home watching. How do you make that that cold turkey shift and stop eating all of that?
Well, I think it does really help to have a community and a support group of people that are doing it with you. So that's what we offer at Keto Lifestyle. We have a community that's driven to better ourselves through health and through nutrition. So that's definitely one thing that does help. But
so people have coaches?
Yes.
Okay, that's
To touch on what you mentioned, I think it's very important for people to realize that a ketogenic diet it's just a tool. It's a tool that will work for some people and it will not work for other people. So if you feel there's no way that you can, distance yourself from carbohydrates in a sustainable way that you can maintain in the long run, then I would say don't mess with it. Okay. Because at the end of the day, what happens is people become phobic about foods and they start to demonize food groups entirely. Carbs will not make you fat unless you overeat them.
Yes, absolutely. I think sustainability is the key word there.
Of course.
How does one start? Where does one start?
Well, the first thing that you need to do is obviously to cut out all the carbs and all the sugars from your diet. And like I said, it may sound difficult in the beginning, but it really isn't. Once you start feeling all these effects and all these benefits from ketones and the mental clarity that you get, it actually starts motivating you to continue.
Yeah. I think what I love about what you're saying more than anything is the coaching process of it. I think there's so much information out there, but it's so much harder to implement that in your life on your own. And I think when you have you touched on the word community, when you have a community, a group or a coach that can see you through that, I think it makes it more sustainable. Where can people get a hold of you?
The easiest way to get a hold of me is to join my Facebook group. It's called Keto Lifestyle South Africa. Otherwise, they can look me up on Instagram, or they can go on my website, www.ketolife.org.za.
Thank you so much, Hendrik. I think you will agree that Hendrik's expertise and practical tips have certainly shed light on the principles and the benefits of the keto lifestyle.